What's going on, everybody? My name is Clayton. Thank you so much for joining the channel. If you like these videos, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. I gotta say this to begin with, I'm not a medical provider, I'm not a doctor, so everything that I say or you see in the comment section, do not take as a diagnosis. I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing my own personal experience. I think that it's very important for us to discuss things, but I think that nothing overrides a diagnosis from a true professional. To begin with, let's go ahead and start with overcoming your fear. This is so hard to do, and it's just like a broad statement. Like, Clayton, what do you mean? Overcome your fear? Yes, overcome your fear, but not in the way that you think. I think we need to define what fear is. So fear is something that becomes more relevant to you and becomes more scary. It becomes more, frightful. I think that it's really important to realize that when you put something at that big of a pedestal and you focus on it, like I can say, I'm afraid of cherries. If I become afraid of cherries, then cherries are going to terrify me as they would not terrify anybody else. So I'm going to give you 3 tips today on the best way to overcome your fear. Tip number 1. This is by far the easiest. Just recognize your fear. Recognize it for what it is. Let's say you buy a new car. I guarantee that you start seeing this new car that you just bought everywhere. Why is that? Because when you associate and something becomes a part of your life, you start to see more and more of things. And this is a broad example of, just situational awareness of what's important to you and what's going on. So recognizing your fear for what it is very important, and you need to realize that it's something that is you don't have control over. It's in the end controlling you, because you start to avoid things. You start to do different patterns and try to make things not really go. Let's say if you're afraid of airplanes, you don't want to go on flights. If you're afraid of trains, you don't want to go on a train. If you're afraid of spiders, you don't want to see a spider. So you're causing like an avoidance behavior. So recognizing your fear is the main step to understanding, okay, I have this fear, what do I need to do? And that goes to step number 2. So it's commonly heard to face your fear. Facing your fear is an important step, but how you go about facing your fear is also really important. If you jump right into something, you're not going to face it healthy. There's a healthy way of facing your fear, and there's an unhealthy way of facing your fear. I think the most healthy way of facing your fear, for an example, let's say that you're afraid to fly. I think a healthy way of facing your fear for someone who's afraid to fly would simply be to look up statistics. Look up what am I being rational? Is it? They say that it's more likely to die in a car crash on the way to the airport than to fly. Start looking up statistics. Start looking up videos of pilots, flying in airplanes. Start looking at videos of people flying in an airplane. It's baby steps, and that's all it really takes, is just baby steps, and eventually you'll get there. If you just jump right into it, you're going to be scared like hell, and there's no way around that. You're just going to be terrified the whole time, and it's going to be a bad experience, and that fear grows. So baby steps. Start thinking rational in a way where it can be healthy for you. And step number 3 is to simply face your fear. Now it can go a lot more smoothly if you do number 1 and do number 2 first, and rationalize things and make sure, hey, I'm not going crazy, or I'm not gonna get bit by this spider because this daddy long legs don't have enough fangs to inject me with venom, or just simple things. Educate yourself, be smart, be rational, and I think that's the most important way to face your fear. If something is irrational, like let's jump off a bridge. I have a fear of bridges. You're not going to go jump off a bridge. There's no statistic that's going to be like, yeah, it's a good idea. So I think that's an important part in overcoming your fear, and that's how I would do it. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.